Hello and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in again. This is episode 2 of figures that you likely forgot about. Now if you haven't watched the first video where I reviewed legendary SmackDown General Manager Teddy Long, check it out now. As always, of course, I value your feedback, I value your like to the video, and don't forget to follow me on the channel. Now today I want to look at something super special. As mentioned in the last video, this is going to be something that specifically will be of value for the Germans and Austrians back home out there. And today I want to talk about this gentleman here, Alexander Wolfe. Who remembers Alexander Wolfe? Not too many out there. Probably a couple of you guys back home in Germany or Austria, right? Alexander Wolfe, better known as Axel Tischer, from Dresden, Germany, born in the mid-80s, if I remember correctly. A fairly big star back over in Europe. Now he came to the WWE, joined the NXT brand, joined one of the coolest stables in my opinion that NXT, the Black and Gold brand, ever had, the Sanity. And he also was a part later on of the Imperium. Now, Alexander Wolfe was part of the WWE Elite line and part of the Collector's Edition in Elite Series 66. I exactly remember where and how I found this video at a local Target, now local to me, back then on a US trip. I went to a Target, didn't expect a lot. Elite, those collector editions are really hard to find sometimes. Specifically in less big regions out in the Midwest, so it was really cool to find them on the shelf for a normal price. So Alexander Wolfe, part of Elite Series 66, Target exclusive. In the front you can see the classic packaging at that time, first time in the line figure with Elite logo on it and Alexander Wolfe. We're going to look a little closer at Alexander Wolfe in just a second. On one side of the packaging we have Alexander Wolfe written right on there. Then on the back of the packaging, really cool fit picture of Alexander Wolfe with a short description about him and his run in NXT and WWE. Then Alexander Wolfe on the other side of the packaging. So overall, the packaging, the figure, nothing wrong with it. I think they did a really nice job. Now, as for Alexander Wolfe, I don't only have him on Mindom card, I also have him loose right here, where we can have a little better look at him. Now, what I really like about the figure is really the detail they put into it, right? A lot of figures, they're simple in colors, they don't have a lot of deco, a lot of art on it. Alexander Wolfe, or specifically the Sanity, was one of those groups that you have to have a lot of details on it. I think when I take the mask down, which is part of the figure, you can see in his face, very detailed, and I'll put it on the screen as well for you. As for the jacket, great job there with the logo Sanity, with a little skull in the front. A little hard as always with those rubber jackets to take them off, unfortunately. That's why I will leave this on here right now. What I really like about the figure is, of course, they put the German flag on him as he was wearing on the shows, and he has the German eagle on the knee pads as well. A lot of details on those pants as well, with the little pockets and all that kind of stuff, with the boots. Stands really well, moves really well, really nice Elite figure. Then also he has the belt right around his waist, a little hard to see right now, but overall very great figure, very like to Alexander Wolfe and his run in the Sanity. Now Alexander Wolfe, as many of you know, or maybe don't know, also was part of what later was another NXT stable, the Imperium, along Gunther, along Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel. Now Gunther, most of you back then, known as Walter and worldwide known as Walter, whatever they changed his name, who knows. Of course, nowadays, Intercontinental Champion in the WWE, and Marcel Bartel, better known now as Ludwig Kaiser, also already had a couple of noticeable matches. I think they have a really cool run together, and I wish they would have kept the other two in the stable and put the stable to life in the WWE main roster. I think they did really good in NXT. Unfortunately, at some point, it was decided that Alexander Wolfe shouldn't be part of the roster or part of the stable anymore. So he was written out of the shows, attacked by his teammates. So, but before that, and before he ever became a part of Imperium, of course, he was a part of the Sanity. And the other guys are the Sanity. So Alexander Wolfe, of course. Eric Young, his figure came in the Elite line. Also a first-time figure, and I think it was the only figure he ever had in the Mattel line. Really, really great deco on this figure as well. Eric Young, totally, they just missed, his chances in WWE to make him a big star. In TNA and Impact, he had such great runs as a wrestler, such a creative mind in my mind. Then, of course, Killing Dane, another really, really great guy here. Big guy, the powerhouse of the group, right? He had another, run a little later on, but never really had a big chance. The most successful, likely, Killing Dane, by the way, was part of the Elite group, also one WWE figure only, as part of the NXT Elite line. Another one hard to find. But the most popular, unfortunately, or by her luck, Nikki Cross. Now better known as Nikki ASH, of course. Nikki, almost a superhero, right? And we really can look forward to that figure coming out. I think it's it's really toyetic, very cool figure to have, and I think she totally deserves to have a run as a WWE Women's Champion for SmackDown, if I remember correctly. And kind of a couple of cool matches that she had out there. So, what a stable this was! What deco did they put on this group? If you haven't had a chance to get your hands on, either one of them, but specifically Alex Wolfe, who, as we're talking about him today, don't miss out. Find him. He's a little more hard to find nowadays. You were able to find him a little easier in between, but unfortunately nowadays, not so easy to find. Maybe at some point he has a chance to make it back into the roster, into the line, maybe even with a feud of, one of the other German or Austrian guys out there in the WWE. What we can be really proud back home from Germany or Austria is that a guy got a chance and was one of the very few Germans to actually wrestle on the main roster, on the main brand. So, if you haven't gotten your chance on Alexander Wolfe, don't miss out. Now, I hope that you enjoyed this little and short review. If you did so, please like the video, please follow the channel, and be happy to leave your comments below. The next video is sure to follow, and I thank you for watching today.